Hello crypto friends, checking in on the big three. Put out an alt video earlier today with Neo, OMG, IOTA, XMR, and a couple others, Bitcoin Cash. So we're looking at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. We'll start on the weekly time frame and then zoom in. And I want to highlight how all these weekly charts, look how we have all of these support lines that we have broken out down where we had a lot of price action. And we're going to draw in some more support lines in the shorter term time frames to add some lines up here. But the general point is, because of all this price action down here, a lot of previous support and resistance levels, and now that we have broken up above them, there are not as many, which means because we have run so significantly, there are not as many supports built on the way up, but it also means there's a complete lack of resistance due to the levels we are at. So we did have Bitcoin follow through and break that 10,850 level to give us the bull break on the inside bar on the daily time frame. Didn't see a ton of follow through, but we did get close to the all-time high, about $385 away on Coinbase, and we are consolidating now sideways, getting very tight. So we're certainly within striking distance of the all-time high. The fact that we did see this kind of significant recovery is very notable. As I pointed out in the last video, the fact that we, break bullish after a significant $3,000 dump and head right back to that all-time high is significant. There's also the potential psychology of a cup and handle pattern. And on the 4-hour time frame here, we can see the left side, the all-time high, healthy consolidation. The right side is unable to break the left side. We see a handle of consolidation, of a healthy little pullback here, and we'll see if the bulls are able to break bullish from this pattern. And we would have to see a break of 11,000 to see that follow through. 11,100 is the high of this bull move. So if we break 11,100, we are very likely to test the all-time high. That's the benchmark right now, where if we break that level, you can be pretty comfortable getting in a position, because if we are that close to the all-time high, due to the lack of resistance, the bulls will likely be able to push to a new all-time high. In terms of support, looking at the 4-hour time frame, let's clean this up a little bit, but the support is the low of this consolidation. And if we zoom in a little bit, we can see we are still forming higher lows, but we also just formed a lower high. So we are getting tight, and we'll zoom in and look at this on the hourly time frame. But our higher low right now is 10,752, 10,752, and we had a higher low before that of 10,701. So a couple little higher lows in terms of the lower highs. Here in the hourly time frame, we can see we have our high, the 11,100 level, higher low, lower high, higher low. We're in an equilibrium pattern on the hourly time frame. We have to be cautious because it's also a potential bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. This is something I will only act on if we break the neckline, and that shows us a change from higher lows and higher highs with the left shoulder and then the head, and a shift to a lower high, the right shoulder, and a lower low if we break the neckline. So at this point, it's all about 10,752 support. If that level holds, we never break the neckline and we never follow through with the pattern. But if it does follow through, we lose the hourly higher lows. And we've been forming hourly higher lows at this point for a couple days in a row. And you can see it's sideways now. And watching very close how this pattern is going to break overnight. Things are slowing down, volumes dropping off, the ranges are tightening, and the tightest range right now is 10,851, that previous resistance, now support, and also looking at 11,050 as another little lower high on the hourly. So a very tight pattern. This is going to dictate the momentum that we will see heading into the end of this weekend, and I do anticipate a break is likely in the later hours this morning here on the East Coast. So on Litecoin, put out the video the other day with Litecoin in the lead. That was before we got the all-time high. The reasons for the lead is we saw a break in the correlation to favor the bulls against Bitcoin. We broke the high of the bounce attempt on the 4-hour time frame first. And again, we pointed out that bot that was buying 200 coins very often. That was a likely reason for the break in the correlation, and the fact that we hit a new all-time high. Weekly time frame increasing bull volume is a great sign for continuation. Daily chart. Didn't see a ton of follow through on the new all-time high. We only broke it by a little over $1, but the fact that that resistance has broken definitely is very notable. The inside bar bull break occurred at 93.50. Nice 10% move on that inside bar alert that went out on the daily time frame. The 4-hour chart for Litecoin is seeing some healthy tightening consolidation. Support is 98.10. If we break 98.10, further downside is coming, and there's a lack of support because we just ran straight up on this 4-hour chart. So the bulls are in control. We have a stronger correlation due to the bot, in my opinion, that's been buying up and keeping us ahead of the correlation with Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin follows through and confirms that bearish reversal head and shoulders hourly pattern I just showed, then we're likely going to see Litecoin head back down into this lower $90 range with a break of 98.10 support. We just had a bear break of the inside 4-hour bars, multiple 4-hour bars inside bars broke bearish. The hourly time frame for some more details: high, low, lower high, very tight range, all about 98.10 support and 102 and 104.75 resistance. Bulls can easily turn this around and see a break in their favor from this tight channel, but it's all about that support, 98.10, as we head into tonight. Checking in on Ethereum weekly time frame. It's a bearish reversal spinning top. The indecision favors the bears for some consolidation. The daily chart is consolidating. We had a bull break of the inside bar without a lot of follow through, and right now Ethereum is the furthest away from an all-time high. So definitely making note of that. We need over 10% for an all-time high. For a Bitcoin all-time high from where we stand right now, we need about 5%, a little bit more than that. And for Litecoin, much less. We need about, well, not much less. It's about 5% as well. So Bitcoin and Litecoin are on par, and Ethereum further away from an all-time high. So the 4-hour time frame for Ethereum did break this resistance of 4,700, but if it were as significant of a bounce as Bitcoin saw in the 4-hour time frame, Ethereum would have made it up into the 490s really to get that close to the all-time high. So we consolidated, no red flags on this 4-hour consolidation. 451.21 is support. Looks like the bulls held that 450 psychological level. We just had multiple inside bars break bearish. Not a lot of follow through. Again, there's not a lot of volume and volatility right now. Things are slowing down, and we're watching the hourly time frame. There's a lower high to be watching at 464.37 resistance, a higher low at 456.31. Those are the ranges to be watching. If I were in a bullish trade on Ethereum and wanting to keep a tight day trading stop, I would be using 456.31 support. If I wanted more wiggle room, it would be 451.21 support. And being that close to psychological support, I would likely use that 450 level. So if just to do the same thing for Litecoin, if you are short-term trading, key support is 98.10. Otherwise, you're likely giving multiple dollars of wiggle room because another support has not been established. If you're trading Bitcoin and you want a short-term stop, you're using 10,850, a little bit more wiggle room, 10,752. And if you want to give a little bit more wiggle room on the 4-hour time frame, 10,700 is the level you're using. That's the consolidation low over the past day. So pretty much sideways trading. Bulls have momentum. If we see a bear break, it's not going to be the end of the world. We're just going to see these ranges continue to tighten up on the 4-hour time frame. We'll still look for a higher low to form. So if we see bear breaks of the 4-hour higher low pattern that we're watching, we will look for a dump and a higher low to form compared to the lows before the breakout a couple days ago. So I would look for a higher low compared to Bitcoin 9,517. I'd look for a higher low compared to Litecoin 82 and Ethereum 422. But we're likely going to talk again before that does occur. And tomorrow we will know whether or not these tight ranges break to favor the bulls or the bears, which I do anticipate to happen overnight. So I appreciate you watching. Going to go live tomorrow, give away some free courses, and do a little bit more of a question and answer kind of thing. I'll start off with my usual analysis of the big three, and then I'll open it up and interact with the YouTube chat room and answer any questions that you guys have and go through in that way, a little bit more of an interactive live stream. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.